Hi, it's me, Ro, author of Speaking from Spirit, and here is your April 2018 energy alert. So here in the U.S., the season of spring, it's just beginning. We're having a very slow start, I must say, and every winter is going to eventually give way to a spring, or so it's promised. And the spring is a new beginning or rebirth. And so now in April, this 2018 April, we're going to be starting that cycle. From the end of March until the beginning of April, like maybe the first week of April, maybe all the way up until the 8th, the energy will still feel like we're in kind of between winter and spring. It'll feel like we're just waking up from a deep sleep. We may feel a bit groggy or like we need that second cup of coffee. We even may feel like we just want to go back to bed still. And even with the Aries energy, which is a very passionate and fiery energy, we may still feel like we're a slumbering bear waking up from a very deep hibernation. So why fight this? It's just easier to honor it and to honor where you're at and know that moment to moment things change. Once we do come out of this kind of fog and slumber, and we absolutely will, there is going to be a very clear energy, a very clear, powerful, and potent energy that will clear all of our cobwebs out of our head and out of our psyche. So we can look forward to that. April 2018, things will just become clear, like crystal clear. The things that we've been pondering or the things that have been going around in our head, the course of action or the direction that we need to take will become clear. Our minds and our perceptions will become clear. Our hearts and minds will become congruent. They will come and line right up with each other. And we'll be inspired. We'll be inspired to take direct action and right actions. These will be coming from our spirit. For most people, there will be no more ambiguity. For most people. No more indecisiveness, no more confusion, and no more lollygagging. That'll hit about the 10th of April. There will be an energy present to assist us, even if, we're the worst of procrastinators. There'll be an energy present, that Aries, Mars energy will be present to assist us. And as we seek answers, and we look for clarity, sometimes just by pondering in our thoughts, the answers will come. The answers and the information will show up for us. And it will reveal itself. And there will be, no place left for us to be in doubt and or confusion. That's what this April energy, or this month of April, is going to bring. Most of us will focus on getting our house in order, one of our houses in order. So whether that is your physical house, the environment you live in, or whether that means your internal house, meaning, your mind and your heart, or your thoughts and your emotions, or the house that's of your immediate circle and circumstances, that would have to do with work, or finances, or health, or your closest relationships even. We're going to get our house in order this month. Or even our soul self, our soul house, meaning what is the purpose of my life, and what is my life about, or how can I live more authentically, or how can I be my highest, most authentic self. These are the things that we're going to get in order this month. Maybe one, maybe all of them. That would be a lot. But these are the things that we're going to get clarity on, and where we will take right action. And again, that Aries energy in the universe will support us with all of our actions. So it's going to maybe start out a little slow, April, but it is definitely going to pick up momentum, and it's going to be clear. Another theme of this month is that there's going to be lots of exits. And by that, I mean many people will be leaving their physical bodies, as in death. There will be lots of deaths, especially in the first 3 weeks. And we'll hear a lot about people dying in our communities or in our circles. We will be affected by that, even if they're not close to us. The energy can get pretty dense when there's a lot of grief. And grief is probably our densest and most tricky emotion. And, you know, we have to deal with our grief as both an emotion and as a state of energy. Both of them have to be processed so that we can go forward again. Our Western culture does not really prepare us for grief. And there's really not a lot of resources to counsel us through it. So we tend to like stuff it away or not deal with it. And then for those that are empathic, you're going to not only experience your own state of grief, or when a grief comes around that may affect you, but you will also carry the grief for others. That's what empaths do. We sponge it up. Listen, as sucky as grief is, it offers tremendous gifts. The opportunity to open our hearts and to expand our compassion are just a few of the gifts I can think of. When grief is done well, it actually creates more joy in our life. It actually opens the space so that we can live more joyously and so that we can love even more deeply. So even if the deaths are not in your immediate circle, expect that these events will trigger you. They will trigger you back to your own grief or undigested grief or unprocessed grief, and it will give us all a chance to revisit and maybe grow more. That's the upside of that. The angel cards that I pulled for this month are from the Carolyn Miss Oracle Archetype cards. I just felt like pulling from there this month. And the archetypal pattern, I pulled the card of detective, which kind of goes along with what I'm talking about. And so that detective archetype means that the inner detective within you will help us to seek our truth in all matters. The detective is going to look for the truth, as in the truth shall set you free. And the detective is going to be the piece that investigates and observes rather than judges things. So that's the archetype that is going to be present for each one of us. The detective archetype also brings us right to our intuition, because that's where the truth of any situation will be. I picked another card as well from the Mother Mary Oracle cards by Alana Fairchild. And the card that I pulled was Our Lady of Answered Prayers. When I pulled it, it came upside down though, which means that the energy of it is either reverse or blocked. So whether we say formal prayers or just think in our minds or contemplate something, these are like really like conversations that we're having, not necessarily with ourselves. Hopefully we're sending them out, but even if you don't, if you're contemplating, they're conversations or petitions to the divine or to the universe or to our own soul. And regular communication with that source, whether it's the source within us or a greater source, is one of the ways that we build and acknowledge and strengthen our spiritual nature and our spiritual power and presence. This card assures us that our prayers are heard and answered. again, because it was pulled, or when I pulled it, it came out upside down, it means that our prayers are still being answered, but maybe not in a way that we expect, or maybe in not what we want to hear. Maybe it is, our prayers are answered, but not in a way that we necessarily want. But know that when our prayers are answered in the right way, from divinity, from our own soul, it's always for our highest and best good, and it is always in perfect divine order, and not just our own highest good, but for the highest good of all. I'll talk more about that message in the April 2nd online meeting. You can attend that if you're a member of my online spiritual community. So again, that's April 2nd at 7 p.m. So when you're thinking, when you're saying a prayer, and again, doesn't have to be a formal prayer, although those work wonderfully too. You are seeking guidance, and that will come, and your prayer will be answered. Just again, maybe not the way you're expecting. April is a pretty productive month, and the motion of energy will be about moving forward in our lives. So if things have been on hold, or if you feel as though you might have been stuck or treading water in any way, or have been just uncertain and kind of in a wait and see mode, let me see how things are going to play out, let me see what opens up, let me see, or worse, if things have been going backwards. This will be the month where you feel the momentum of energy moving forward again, or your life moving forward again. Even though it's Mercury in retrograde and we're in that like kind of quiet mode, once it comes out of that Mercury retrograde, we are going to move forward. And, you're going to have a clear view of where you're going. It's not going to feel so uncertain. That's the perfect word I could think of. It won't feel like that. So you can read more of the full energy alert. I only did a little bit here by visiting my website, www.rosemarierubenetticapiello.com. So if you go on that, there'll be that energy blog, and you can read it all or print it out, and then that will be helpful for the rest of the month. So for now, it's me, Ro, and I will talk to you again in May. And I'm wishing you a wonderful April, and just signing out now. Peace.